Want to know how you can gain access to capital to jumpstart your journey to entrepreneurial success? For entrepreneurs who are just starting out or those who have been in business for years, Minority Business Access is your podcast. Welcome to our show, where we will guide you in avoiding the pitfalls and thriving in your chosen business. Now, on to the show with your host, Solomon Ali.
I want to thank everyone for another episode of Minority Business Access. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to Minority Business Access, MBA. What we're going to talk about today is going to be a little different than what we have talked about in the past. In the past, we've spoken more about what entrepreneurs should do if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. And we've had guests come on and kind of talk about those things. And I've asked them questions. But today, I'm going to give you my personal opinion. And again, it's only my personal opinion. So let me put this disclosure out there right now. This is not legal advice. This is not strategic advice for you. You can't call me and pay for that, though. However, this is not strategic advice for you to use. This is just personal information and a personal belief. It's for informational purposes only. If you need legal advice, please go get an attorney. If you need tax advice, go get an attorney. If you need any other kind of professional advice, go hire the appropriate person or company to represent you and give you that type of information. So if it's accounting or anything of that nature, it's not investment advice. I'm not giving anyone any investment advice. Again, the information I'm giving is strictly for information purposes only. Okay. So please don't go and say, well, that Solomon Ali said this and said that. It's information purposes only. Now, I'm looking at a slide today, so you're going to see me take my eyes off of you for a few minutes. I'm going to have to look at my slides and think about what it is, and then I'm going to give you the answer to what that slide is actually talking about. These questions came from a lot of young entrepreneurs, a lot of young people who wanted to know and get some valuable information on what they should possibly do and when they should do it, if they're in the market or not. And so hopefully it will be very helpful information that they may be able to add to their arsenal and think about it in some kind of way. But again, I'm going to say, please go get an attorney or a broker or some licensed professional that does those things. But at least you will probably be a little bit more armed to ask the different questions that you need to ask. Okay. So that's where we are today. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about. I'm going to put on my eyes. I didn't need glasses until I turned about 53, 54. So now I have to wear glasses. Well, I have a slide here that said, how can your business be considered essential? I don't really know the answer to how your business can be considered essential. And I think it would possibly be a little too late at this point in game. It's kind of like saying, hey, in the 11th hour, I'm going to change my whole business plan and my whole business model. You don't want to do that. Just trying to just take advantage of maybe opportunities that exist right now. You don't want to do that. If you did want to try to create a scenario where maybe your business partnered with a business that was already essential, you might want to think about that and consider that. But I wouldn't suggest to anyone to change their business plan, their business model, or anything of that nature in the 11th hour, trying to take advantage of any opportunities today. That it's just not worth it, and it wouldn't be cost effective at the end. But you could consider possibly partnering with some other companies that are already out there that's essential and that's considered essential in the marketplace. And some of the things I think that you may want to look at is, although they're essential now, what type of business is it? What industry is it in? And will it be considered essential later in the future? I know everyone's reacting to this virus. Everyone's just reacting. The whole world's reacting to the virus. You don't want to do that. That's not how you run a business. You stay true to your core, stay true to your philosophy and your management style and things of that nature. You know, I have a philosophy, you don't have to lie, cheat, and steal in business. You do have to do the work. So stay true to your core of what your business philosophy is. And try to keep it that way, and that will probably work out really well for you. So again, I don't know the answer if you can make your business essential or not, but a good suggestion is think about just possibly partnering with someone else that might be undercapitalized, that you can make a subsidiary of your company or something of that nature. Okay? I hope that answered the question. All right. We have another question here. The question is, what should I do with my 401k or retirement plan? You know, folks, that really depends. And that depends on a lot of things. You know, people right now are watching the balances of what's going on in their 401k or their retirement plans, and they're getting a little scared and nervous. Okay. If you're in the market, you're in the market. If you're not in the market, you're not in the market. But if your 401k is tied to the market in some kind of way, I don't know. It's tough. You're probably wondering, should you decrease or whether or not you should contribute more and take advantage of some of the low-hanging stocks that may be out there. A friend of mine, we were having a conversation the other day, and we were talking about a particular industry. It was the travel industry, what's going on and how hard they're actually getting hit in the travel industry. And, you know, let's be honest, they're getting slammed. People are not renting hotel rooms, or people are not doing conferences and things of that nature because pretty much we're all shut in and trying to follow the rules and keep each other safe, which is extremely important. But it's taking a toll on the hotels. It's taking a toll. People not jumping on planes. You know, I guess right now the advantage would be it's a real good time to probably go and get a ticket and go somewhere, and you won't have to stand in those long lines. But, you know, that's still scary too. You get on the plane, you don't know what may happen. Somebody else may be sick. But that being said, you know, hotel stocks, yeah, they're going to be down. That's a given. Everything's based on supply and demand. So the stocks are going to be down because, of course, they're going to be reporting that they're having a bad quarter. And although this is just a bump. So what I would say in that particular case, whether if you're in one of those particular industries like the travel industry or something like that, if it's planes, you know, I ain't going to call out any airlines name, but airline stocks are probably going to be down a little bit. So if you're already in it, hold on to it. Keep it long term. Would I take advantage of possibly buying some currently right now today? Probably not. Here's the reason. And again, this is personal. This is my personal belief, okay? Seek your own professional advice, all right? My personal belief is this. Most companies are going to begin to have layoffs. Okay. Once they begin to have layoffs, if the people tied to these companies have 401ks that's tied to the stock, and they need money because now all of a sudden they're unemployed, okay, and they're trying to make ends meet, or maybe even trying to pay down some bills so that they don't feel some of this pain, or you know, maybe they're going to feel the pain anyway, but they have to liquidate some of their retirement. Well, if I'm an investor buying their stock, I'm about to see some losses. So why would I buy it now, thinking and believing that, okay, the companies are probably going to lay off 15 and maybe as much as 40% of their workforce? So let's get real. I'm not about to jump in there and begin to buy their stock. However, if I'm already in their stock, I'm not about to sell their stock neither. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I'm in the stock, I'm going to hold it long term. I'm going to keep my position. All right. Now, if I'm not in it, I'm not getting in it right now. Okay. Now, what I may do is wait for the bottom to fall out. And what I mean by that is I may wait for, okay, if a company is going to lay off employees, I may wait till they get to the bottom of their last tier of layoffs and cuts. And knowing that, all right, after that, everyone will probably liquidate, or the majority of those people who've just been laid off or cut from the company will probably begin to liquidate that particular investment that they have in their portfolio. So when they do that, then, and I think that it's all over with and there won't be any more layoffs or cuts or things like that, then I might look at that. But I may also be looking at their vendors. Are their vendors going to jack up prices on them? Because their vendors just got slammed too. And so their vendors are going to need what? To increase prices on some of the things that they're providing as far as services to help make up for the differences and things like that. So those are the kind of things that you have to keep in mind. And if I can reach a comfort level after all my due diligence and investigation, then I would determine to make that investment at that time, trying to make that investment at the lowest, at the absolute lowest, or what I would refer to at the bottom of that company's actual stock price. And then I would just hold on to it and forget that I ever made the investment and wait. When I make investments long term. I don't come in and like some day traders, because you don't make money that way. You make some pocket change, but you don't make any money. And most of the time, you don't even make pocket change. When you actually average it out, you realize, okay, I didn't do as well as I thought for the time and everything. And if you just invest and let it sit, you normally end up doing a whole lot better. The other thing I would say is this. It's kind of late, guys, to just be reacting to situations. This is where you get your financial advisors and things of that nature early on, where you pay people. I know a lot of you don't want to pay people and things like that, but you get them early on. You pay people to help you to put together a strategic plan where you think about these kind of things, okay, and take advantage of them. And taking advantage of them, what I mean is this. Everyone should have some type of insurance policy, okay? And that insurance policy, if you look at different insurance contracts from various companies, they pay out a certain dividend, okay? Or they pay a certain interest rate depending on the policy. That's very critical to have as part of your strategic and overall plan and strategy. If you're sitting there with X amount of dollars in the bank, well, you can do the math. The bank is probably paying you less than 2%. Well, that insurance policy, okay, or contract, I'm going to call it a contract because it's a little different. I don't want people thinking it's just a life insurance policy, because that's not what it is, although it will have a death benefit. But it will normally pay right now 4 to 5%. So why would I have my money parked somewhere paying me less than 2% when I can have my money parked somewhere paying me 4 to 5%? Do you follow me? So it's simple things like that of getting professional advice and getting very strategic. The other thing is, hey, maybe you need a self-directed IRA, okay, to where you're actually managing and watching your money and you're making the appropriate investments. So if you had a self-directed IRA right now, maybe you want to take advantage of some of the real estate that will be coming up in the future, not today. Right now we're in the month of April, okay? So I wouldn't be trying to take advantage of any real estate in the month of April. I would wait until probably August, okay, when some of the things are going to turn around. What I mean by that, I believe personally, is my own personal belief, is that guess what's going to happen? People are going to run out of money. People are going to end up being a few months behind, going into foreclosure, things of that nature, because they're out of a job. We may see as many as 45 to 60 million people lose their jobs and be unemployed. That's crazy. And so if we see that, I don't know what we're going to okay. I don't know what we're going to actually say. Because a lot of people at that point in time, they become homeless or have to go live somewhere else. But for you as an investor or as an entrepreneur, if you have a self-directed or IRA, okay, and that's an individual retirement account. An IRA is an individual retirement account, okay. So if you have that IRA, and especially if it's self-directed, you can go ahead and purchase real estate. You can purchase other businesses, other types of assets, things like that, and really take advantage of it, okay? However, if your 401k or your retirement plan is being managed by the company store, well, you don't know what's going on. 95% of all Americans have no clue of what's going on within their retirement plan. Even when they get the statements, okay, they don't read them or they don't understand how to read them, and they don't know what's actually going on in there. They don't know the mix of what makes up that retirement plan. So first step, become more knowledgeable, get involved, get you some professional help, ask. It's well worth paying some people. And it's not that you may want to take their advice at the end of the day, but you at least want to listen to them. Because there's wisdom in wise counsel. Again, there's a lot of wisdom in wise counsel. So you pay the people to give you their wise counsel, and then you make the final decision on what you're going to do and how it fits your needs and things of that nature, based on your other experiences that you may have in life and based on other people. When I try to make a decision, I try to do what we call a poll. I ask different people from different walks of life. Some may be professionals, some may not be, because I just want to get a good understanding, because guess what? I'm not dealing with just professionals, because professionals are trying to pinpoint and give me a narrative normally of what's happened in history. I'm trying to pinpoint on what people are currently thinking and doing, and that's how you want to make an investment, okay? So, think about that. But again, be slow right now to start making any changes, because any changes that you're trying to make right now, you're just reacting to a situation. And we all know if you're reacting to a situation, you're already 1, 2, 3 steps behind. Okay. When I was in boxing, if the guy hit me, by the time I blocked, he done already threw 2, 3, 4 more punches. So I like to say I normally got off the first hit. And so that way he was behind. So I ain't like being behind. So I like staying ahead. So you want to think about that. If you're reacting to a situation, you're already 2, 3, 4 steps behind. Okay. So there's no real catch up. So all you're going to do is spend a little bit of money and lose a little bit of money because you're reacting to a situation. So try not to react to a situation. Get you some professional help before you make those decisions. So if it was me, I would have already have gotten me a self-directed IRA so I could sit back and take advantage of the real estate market and things of that nature. And it's not too late to do those things. But you do want to make sure you have some wise consultants to actually help you, so you can rely on the wisdom and then you can develop from there. Let me see what the next slide is. Okay. It says, what does all this mean for investors' portfolios? What actions should they take? Guys, listen, your portfolio is probably looking really bad now. It's probably down 30, 45%. Chill out. Chill the heck out. Smoke a cigar. Relax. Go stream a couple of movies. Do some binging. Okay, relax, all right? We have the largest economy in the world. The world is depending on our economy. And yes, there are some very strategic people, very wealthy people, and plan on getting wealthier. And there are there's more millionaires and billionaires that will be created during this period of time. If you look at history, this is not the first time. Well, it's the first time this has happened this way, okay? Because in 1918, the Spanish flu, that was a little bit different. Our market conditions and everything was a little bit different, but similar. Anyway, my point is this. Lots of people made money and lots of people lost money. Again, lots of people made money and lots of people lost money, okay? So the diligent is going to make money. You're going to make money if you're diligent, if you're prudent, okay? If you're a consumer and you're trying to react to a situation, well, you're probably going to lose money, okay? If you're moving out of fear, you're probably going to lose money. So your portfolio is down, big deal. It's down 45%, whatever the case, big deal. Chill out, don't worry about it. Move on, okay? Look at some other investment opportunities, all right? Now, one thing I will caution you, look at the industries that are making up your portfolio, because some industries, there's going to be thousands of industries that are lost, gone, will no longer exist. You do want to get the heck up out of those, okay? You want to get out of those particular industries, all right? So look at what type of companies you're investing in, all right, and what's making up your portfolio, and get you some advice, and you want to get out of it. Like someone was telling me, hey, would you be in the cruise? I said, nope. That's, to me, strap metal. If I'm going to buy a ship, I might buy a ship and be buying it at a discount, okay, and doing something else with it as an asset. But come on, guys, let's use some common sense. People are not going to be flocking back, in my personal, humble opinion, all right? They're not about to flock back and jump in any crowded situations because they're still going to be afraid. I know I am, okay? You know, some people say, well, it's not real, it's a hoax, it's whatever. Guy, it doesn't really matter. Perception is reality. Okay, so if perception is reality, all right, great. Then I'm not in any danger. But I don't know whether I'm in danger or not. So why not caution on the safe side? I'm not about to go jump in a whole bunch of crowds. Okay, I don't want any of my family or anything like that jumping in a whole bunch of crowded places where if it's not a hoax, okay, and it's real, we're getting sick. So I'm not going to be jumping on a ship anytime soon. I'm going to have to let it go through a couple of cycles and things of that nature before I want to do that. So what that means is, hey, my portfolio, if I stay in there, may be long time before I see a return. So I'm going to probably take my monies out of that, and I would probably place my monies into something else, some artificial intelligence or robotics, something that's new, that's coming, that'll help offset those losses that I may have taken earlier. So that's what I would recommend. But again, do not panic. The long investor with the long sights always comes out on top, guys. Always comes out on top. If you're a day trader, you might be able to tell, guys, you're up and down. You're like the wind. The wind blows north, you go north. It goes south, you go south. In other words, you're double-minded in all your ways and you're unstable. Therefore, your money is unstable and inconsistent. Okay, so that's what I think if you're day trading and things of that nature. Now, don't get mad at me. I'm just speaking the truth. If you're day trading and you think you're about to make a lot of money and you can time all this, no, you can't. Because there's people out there a whole lot smarter than me, and we're doing things that you'll never be able to time because you're never going to be able to see it coming. All right. And we'll be grabbing companies and consolidating and rolling things up so fast that a stock that you might be in today, that company may not even exist. So you may be just holding some wallpaper. Okay. So you want to be in a deal long term. If you invested, stay in it long term. Be comfortable with your position, but understand the industry. And if that industry may leave, you want to make sure you go ahead and take your losses and get out. Don't try to hold on to the bitter end and tie that knot in the rope and hold on, thinking that industry is going to come back. Okay. Let's see. We're going to go. We discussed disclosures. We discussed this. We went over that. Gold and silver. Everyone's talking about gold and silver. Gold and silver is always a good bet. Okay. However, if you're jumping in gold and silver right now, guess what? Gold and silver is at a high. That wouldn't be a good move to buy something at the high end of the market, right? We try to buy it low. So if you had jumped in it back in January or February, that would have probably been a decent time to be in gold and silver and stay long. But, again, get your professional advice. You may want to buy some even though it's at the high end and then just hold on to it and ride it out. But guys, if you're buying something just to react to the market conditions currently that we're seeing, that's not how you invest and that's not how you make money. All right. So if you're going to do something, do your homework, be diligent, be very diligent, be prudent about it, and make a wise decision with wise people around you. Okay. That's what you want to do. So gold and silver are definitely great investments. Okay. They're definitely great investments for the short term as well as for the long term. Okay. Should I pull my money from the markets? I don't know. Should you pull your money from the stock markets? I don't know. Nobody can really tell you that unless you have a bunch of professional financial advisors. Here's why. We don't know what your personal needs are. We don't know what your family needs are. We don't know what's going to come up in emergency. You may have an emergency. Your mom and dad may have an emergency. A sibling, a child may have an emergency. So nobody knows that. And if you're just pulling your money out in the market because it's down, then the answer is no. If that's the question that was asked, should I pull my money from the market because the stock is down and the market is down? The answer is no. Long term. Be very careful though. I got to say this again. Be very careful what industry you're in. If you're in the travel industry or you're in an industry where the stocks and that company may not come back or may not exist later, then yes, take your losses, take it on the chin, and then go ahead and invest that money in something else, okay? But no one really can tell you whether or not you should pull your money out the market, okay? If you made a good investment, if you did your homework, you did your due diligence at the time you made the investment, stay with your investment, stay with your confidence, okay? Because you did your research. But now, if you invested, let's say, I'm trying not to pick anything, but let's say we invested in a particular retail store, okay? And in that retail store, people can buy clothes or whatever online. So now there's no need for that retail store to exist and to have 400 or 500 locations. So either they're going to change their business model or they're not going to be there, right? The chances are it's too late for them to change their business model. So they're probably not going to be there. I'm mindful of a company like Netflix. You had Netflix, all right, they were the new kid on the block. You had Blockbusters, okay, who was the old dog on the block, and that old dog had an opportunity to take advantage and purchase Netflix. Who's here today and who's gone? See, so let's keep this real. Who's here today and who's gone? Blockbusters missed an opportunity to take advantage and purchase Netflix. right? Netflix is here, Blockbusters is gone. So kind of use that analogy, okay? Blockbuster had what? All these store locations and all these various places, right? And now they're no longer gone. What did Netflix have? You can pull everything down online. So that is a good indicator of what industry you might want to be looking at, okay? So if you can see it that way, that should help you out a great deal. Another company was like Radio Shack, all right? Radio Shack had I think 1,300 locations across the country. In fact, at one time I wanted to buy Radio Shack. You would have been able to pick up the whole thing for about 10, 15 million, which would have made easy financing from a banking standpoint, okay, and bringing in a couple of partners and things of that nature to help qualify for the loans, because the company that I was representing and working for, we didn't quite have the cash flow to be able to do it, but we were able to possibly go borrow the money and bring some other companies in that we could have partnered with that had some cash flow that may have been able to show that and really pull that deal off and done some really great things with our smart home technology and stuff like that. But, that being said, guys, let me tell you something. You can't work with people that's unevenly yoked. If you're the smartest one in the room, if you're the smartest one on the team, quit. Get the hell off that team. You need people just as smart as you, okay, or smarter. I prefer people smarter than me. The only thing you will end up in is waist high full of shit. Again, that's waist high full of shit if you're the smartest person in the room. Okay, and I'm telling you from experience, I've just gone through this not too long ago. You don't want to be the smartest person in anybody's room. You want people around you that's far smarter than you are. So then that way, as you collaborate, a new vision and things of that nature may come together on how to do things and how to get it done. So again, when you're looking at the market, should you pull your money out? Understand the industry. Okay, understand the company. Look at Blockbusters and a Netflix. Okay, Blockbusters had the opportunity to purchase a Netflix for a very reasonable price, I understand. Okay, Netflix is still here. Blockbusters is gone. Company like Radio Shack, okay, they're gone. Okay, other companies online are selling the same thing. Okay, so look at those things. Let me give you one last one to look at. Have you heard of this company, Amazon? I'm sure you have, okay? Amazon started out as what? Something that was a little bit different, turning around, looking in Barnes & Noble, gone. Well, mostly gone, okay? But they had to shut down a great deal of locations. But Amazon basically started out trying to what? Sell books online. People told them that wouldn't work or this and that, right? And so your big boys had a chance again to buy them out prior to them getting as large as they were. But okay, these companies, the old dogs, I'm gonna call them, they chose to ignore that and not believe in it, and now some of the old dogs are non-existing or had to scale way down. Okay, and where do you buy your books at now? Who's the number one bookseller? Oh, it's Amazon. In fact, they're the number one seller for almost everything in our economy, right? So think about those kind of things. When I say industries, thousands and thousands of industries are going to be lost and are going to be gone. People, that's exactly what I'm telling you. And this is how you look at it and how you gauge it. What made Amazon survive? They started out, they're not just a book-selling company now, all right? I can tell you what they are, but it'd be better if you do your homework, all right? But they survived. Other companies, such as Barnes and Nobles and things of that nature, and other companies in other industries had to what? They had to scale down. They had to go down. And so these are the times we're living in right now. you want to be very diligent in doing your homework. Okay. Everybody can point the fingers. People, please stop blaming Donald Trump. President Donald Trump is our president. Stand behind him. Do the best you can. Whether you voted for him or not, he is the president of these United States. Stand behind him. That's what people do. That's what Americans do. Stand behind your president. Guys, it is so easy to point the finger on Monday night after a decision has been made and say, oh, it was wrong, and tell all the reasons it was wrong. It's the hardest dang thing in the world to make a decision, and knowing that you're the one that's responsible for that decision and how many people it's going to affect and things of that nature. That's hard. So give the man a break. He needs a break. He needs prayer, okay? That's what you need to be doing. That's what the media need to be doing. Let's pray for him, and let's move on, because we are Americans. We are great, and we will do great things, and we will come out of this better than we were before, but we will come out as a new economy, okay? Things will be new. Yes, there will be thousands of jobs and stuff lost. The markets will take a hit. But a lot of people will become extremely wealthy. And yes, a lot of people will become poor. However, the power is in your hands. The power is in your hands. You can keep pointing the fingers at other people. You can point the fingers at your president, or you can get busy and start doing your frickin' homework, investigating on what's going on, okay, so you can pick the right companies to be a part of as your portfolio. Okay, I know I said way too much on that, but, guys, you don't have to lie, cheat, or steal. What you have to do is do the work. See, most people have to lie, cheat, and steal because they can't do the work. That's it. If you can't do the work, guess what you're going to do? You're going to lie, cheat, and steal because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Excuse my French, guys. Forgive me for that. But that's when people lie, cheat, and steal because they can't do the work. Now, if they can do the work and they're lying, cheating, steal, well, then we just call them straight up evil. And they need to be taken behind the woodshed, see. And it's that simple. If they can do the work and they're lying, cheating, and stealing, they need to be taken behind the woodshed. All right, we got time for, I think, one more. Let me find a really good one here. Okay, I don't see another really good one that I want to talk about right now. I'll talk about a couple of these at a later date. But I do want to say this. Minority Business Access is here to help people that was like me, that started in business with very little capital. Didn't have a traditional education. I don't possess a college degree or anything of that nature. I did attend the school, and I did drop out and things like that. And because I dropped out and I started making some decent money and thought, oh, that was the end of it, didn't need it. Guys, I can't say if it's for you or not for you. Here's what I can say. Every kid around me goes to college. Every kid around me finishes and complete college. Because if nothing else, it helps to make your life a little bit easier, and it opens up the doors. You're not going to be able to do what guys like me in the past have done without a college education, okay? I know there are more billionaires out there. I think the number is like over 80% of the billionaires do not have a college degree. I understand that, okay? But guys, what you got to understand is that the era and when they made their money is different than the current era that we live in today. You got to understand that. So it ain't going to be, oh, just get out and roll up your sleeves and do the work. It's going to be a little bit more challenging than that today, okay? So I want you guys to keep that in mind. The other thing is, look, there's no need for panic and fear. Fear is basically what? False evidence appearing real, okay? So if somebody's trying to get me to be afraid of something, what do I have to do? I have to sit back and say, oh no, I'm going to go right through that. See, just like in boxing, I ain't have time to be afraid. I got trained to what? They throw a punch, I'm going to throw 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 punches. If they throw one, I'm throwing about 6 or 7. And I'm going through them. I'm not about to just stay back. I'm going through them. Learn the same thing in football, So in business, it's the same way. You got to look at what your competition is doing. If I'm going into business as a new entrepreneur today, I'm looking and measuring the industry. I'm looking and seeing where there's a demand, okay, where there's a need. I know a lot of you say, oh, do what you love, do what you're passionate for. Okay, you can do that. You can do that. Now, I'm being real sarcastic here. You can do that, and your fucking ass will be broke. Because what you're passionate for don't mean there's a need or demand for it. Okay, so let's get real. I can be passionate, okay, about picking up poop, but it don't mean that there's a need, okay, for it or a demand. Find something where there's a need and there's a huge demand. You will be successful. Find something where there's a need and a huge demand. Screw that BS some of these people tell you, oh, do what you're passionate about. Do what you love. Bullshit. You do that, your ass will be broke. You do that, you're one of the people that won't make it through this era. And I'm just being honest with you. And that's my personal opinion. You can write, call, do whatever the heck. I ain't going to answer you. All right. But if you do that which there's a demand and a need for, guess what? You're going to be successful, but you got to do the work. You got to learn it. And a lot of times when you learn something, the passion develops and it comes, the love comes, okay? Because then you realize, oh, wow, I'm really good at this. And then you get all excited and giddy. And so then you don't mind working the 15 to 17 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3-4 years that it's going to take to get that stupid business up and going before you can really start making money. That's how this works. And there is no other way to getting there. There's no shortcuts. If you're coming to a guy and you're just coming up with a great idea and you're saying, hey, invest in me, and you think that they're supposed to invest in you because you got a great idea, hey, we're looking for a return on capital. We're looking for a return on investment. Hey, what is the net present value? Okay. In other words, when am I going to get to a break even and when do I get my money back? Okay. What is my risk? Okay. If your business fail, okay, how am I covered? So a lot of you are living pipe dreams when you start your entrepreneurship and you don't want to give up nothing. Guys, you might have to give up 60, 70% of your business if you want a guy to come in there and invest all his hard-earned money, because what you got to understand and appreciate, he's made his money already. He's earned his money already, and you're asking him to risk it on your dream. Your dream. You're asking him to, hey, take a ride with you, but he's the one that's providing the car. He's the one that's providing the gas. And you're going to be doing the driving. So you're asking a lot, and you really need to understand what it is that you're asking of a company, an investor, when you're asking them for money to come and invest in your company, to come and invest in your dream. And then you're not willing to work the 15, 16 hours a day. You're not willing to take the time to learn your competition, to learn your industry. Are you kidding me? Get out of here with that crap, okay? So listen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in today, Minority Business Access. I love you guys. Please stay safe and do not be afraid that false evidence appearing real. Do not be afraid, guys. Go out there and look for the businesses that make sense. Do your research. Don't just jump in. I'm sorry if I offended any of the day traders, but hey, guys, y'all not doing enough research. You don't know what you're doing, okay? And you're going to get slammed in this market. And I'm just being straight with you. You're going to get slammed. There's going to be thousands of industries that are not going to exist anymore. There's going to be millions of jobs that are lost. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. There are already millions of jobs that are lost. The number may be as high as 45 to 60 million when this is all over with, people. That's a lot. You guys need to think about something. The majority of the jobs were created by small businesses. Listen to what I just said. The majority of the jobs were created by small businesses. And guess what, people? Think about this. Small businesses are what will be wiped out. Small businesses will be wiped out. So it doesn't take a rocket science to figure if the majority of the jobs have been created by small businesses and the majority of the small businesses are about to be wiped out, we're about to have some really tough times, right? So your unemployment rate, you can see go as high as 60, 70 million people. Somewhere between, I'm going to make my own predict. We're going to probably be between 45 and 65 million unemployed. That's horrific. Now, for other people, that's an opportunity. For some people, it's going to be hell because they're going to be afraid, trying to figure out, oh, how do I feed my family? What do I do? Oh, it's the president's fault. No, it's not. It's your fault. Go to work. Figure out what you need to be doing. We told you in previous episodes, if you're a small business, what to start doing with your vendors, what to start doing with your customers. Start looking around how to innovate, okay? Guys, you had a blueprint from the big companies back in 2008. Come on, they got billions and billions of dollars. What did they do? You saw what they've done. They laid people off. They got the money. They automated their plants and things of that nature. You got a blueprint from them of what you needed to do. There's a few more things that you need to add to that blueprint, okay? But they basically gave you a baseline. And when they got that money, they didn't go turn around and reinvest that money back in human capital, did they? They kept reducing their human capital. They made sure their plants and things of that nature were being automated, okay, so that they could be more efficient. So people, that's what I'm saying. Just think a minute. Don't let the fear paralyze you. You will be all right, okay? I know I'm going to be all right, okay, because, it ain't about how much money you have. It doesn't matter if you had $1. When I started my first private equity company, I started with $250. I was loaning out millions of dollars within 12 months, okay? So, but you have to do the work. And that's that. I can't stress that enough. And everybody's going to say, oh, well, I'm not that smart. Neither am I. Neither am I. No one is. But when you find something that you're willing to put the time and the work in, you can do it. You can do it. You have been created to do great things and to do wonderful things. So get over yourself, get over the fear, and do these great things that you were created to do. The world is counting on you to do who you're supposed to be, become who you're supposed to be. We're counting on you, okay, each and every one of us. Thank you so very much for tuning in to MBA, Minority Business Access. Again, thank you for tuning in to MBA, Minority Business Access. Thank you.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Minority Business Access podcast. Connect with us at solomonrcali.info to leave a review and access more resources. We hope you enjoyed this show and found great value. See you at the next episode.